I remember ending the year on $1,000 in 2023, and I was like, wow, because my previous experience with launching products was very bad.
How does a solo indie hacker build multiple Shopify apps generating $12,000 in monthly recurring revenue and then put it on autopilot so he can focus on launching his next business? Well, it turns out he's figured out how to get businesses to tell him exactly what they'll pay money for.
Why don't I provide them value for free in the form of basically that's where I got my first idea.
Adi started his journey as a software developer and product manager working full-time in Bangalore, India. Before his success building Shopify apps, he had never made a single penny with any product or any business that he's launched. After he used a strategy to figure out exactly what to build, he used a Shopify App Store strategy to get his apps ranked high, even as a brand new app.
It's actually called ASO, App Store Optimization for Shopify. There are usually two ways.
I gave Adi a call and dove deep into his business, and he revealed to us exactly how he did it and how any other indie hackers can do exactly the same. He shared a ton of good stuff, including how he got busy business owners with money to spend to tell them exactly what apps they would pay money for, how to optimize your Shopify apps to rank first, and his never-before-revealed strategy that drives a bunch of free traffic and customers to his apps. All right, let's get into it. Adi, welcome to the show. So let's start with your story. How did you begin to learn how to develop applications? Like, what were you doing prior to launching your Shopify apps?
Okay, so basically, I am a computer engineer. I graduated in computer engineering in 2020. And then after that, I actually joined a couple of startups in Bangalore, which is like the Silicon Valley here in India. I have an experience of both product development as well as product management. So both of these kind of added together to like help me build my current suite of products.
So how did you determine what to build? I heard that you had built a free Shopify app just to learn from merchants. Tell us more about your kind of like product discovery process to decide what to build first.
Yeah. Basically, when I was looking for ideas to build in Shopify, I started researching for ideas and finding ideas on Shopify community forums, Reddit groups, Facebook groups, all of these places. And I started engaging with merchants. I tried to cold DM them or reach out to them, asking them if they have any problem with the current apps that they are using and all those things. But all of them yielded me no results. So I came up with the idea that why don't I provide them value for free in the form of a free app? And then in exchange for that, I ask for the time, and that is where I'll be able to generate some insight from them. As I was just going through the post in the community, I found someone asking for a very specific problem. I just went ahead and built it, and then I started posting about it on Reddit, on Shopify community forums, and even got some installs from the Shopify marketplace. Basically, the app was very simple. It was like you have those dialog boxes where if you go to some website, a dialog box will pop up the moment you land on the website, and then it will offer you a discount code if you enter your email address. So that is what I built out, and I offered it out for free to all the customers. And I did a live chat support in the app. Now, whenever merchants used to come, I used to get a notification that XYZ merchant is visiting your store. And I myself used to initiate the conversation with them that, hey, how are you doing? How do you like the app? And because they were getting free value from the app, they decided to speak to me. And then just while discussing with the customers, one problem came up a couple of times, which was there is something called as shipping profiles in Shopify. Now, the problem in Shopify was that it's a manual process to assign each product to the profile. There's no way to do it in bulk or do it quickly. And now, if you look at the merchants in Shopify, many of the merchants are drop shippers. Every week, they import hundreds of products from some vendor and they take out some hundreds of products from their inventory. Now, imagine if for a merchant, if he's importing hundreds and thousands of products every week, attaching that one product individually to shipping profiles becomes a big task. And this is what they mentioned, that they wish that there was some solution to do it in bulk. And then afterwards, it caught my eye that, okay, this looks like a problem which people would be able to pay for. So in subsequent conversations, I used to bring it up myself with other merchants that if they are facing this problem, and some of them did say that they were facing. And the second app that I built was called Shipper. And the idea, again, this was a very small app with a single use case that it allowed you to create rules in the app. Essentially, you could just create such rules based on product parameters to assign products to different shipping profiles. And then there was this like run bulk thing button in the app. The moment you click on that, all the products in your catalog will get automatically assigned to these profiles. And not only that, if you add a new product, and that product will also get automatically assigned to the app. So the merchant literally, once you set up the app, you don't need to do anything else. Everything was automated in the app.
Did you look at any other kind of ecosystems or any other platforms that you would first build apps on, like the Apple App Store or WordPress plugins? And what made you choose a Shopify App Store to be your first place to build apps?
I really did not look at any other marketplace or any other platform. I came across a blog by a fellow Indian Shopify app, Indiehacker, and the reasons that he mentioned were quite convincing for me that it's relatively easy to develop Shopify. And again, this first point is kind of, it depends on your technical skills. But the second point is it's very easy to get users as a technical person if you have a Shopify app. If you're able to nail your Shopify app listing, it's actually not that difficult to get good enough traffic to sustain your business from the Shopify app store itself. You don't need any other channel for that.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Tell us more about what you had to do to make sure that your apps showed up in search results when people were searching in the Shopify App Store.
So it's actually called ASO, App Store Optimization for Shopify, and not SEO. But essentially, it's the same thing. You optimize for keywords and you rank higher on the Shopify App Store. All these insights came from reading various articles and doing a bit of playing around with the ranking engine myself. A couple of good practices is that you should always look for high traffic keywords for your listing. And how do you find high traffic keyword? There are usually two ways. The first way is that Shopify also has an engine where you can run ads on the Shopify App Store. So you go to that engine, they give you $100 for free as credits. So you go there and you enter a couple of different keywords, and then you basically, once you start your ad for any keyword, Shopify will give you a list of recommended keywords, and those recommended keywords are basically high traffic keywords for which the cost is low. So that means that lesser number of people are bidding for it. So you can take those list of keywords and then just play around with those keywords in your listing and see how your app's ranking is changing. I did not use this approach. I used a second approach, which was, so Shopify also had a search bar. What I did was, if you start typing in keywords related to your, for example, for me, it was shipping, it generates a list of auto suggested keywords. For example, if you enter ship, it will generate words like shipping, shipping rate, shipping calculator, and all sorts of those keywords. These keywords are essentially high traffic keywords because Shopify is suggesting it in the auto suggest. So that's the cue you can take. And that's actually what I did with my flagship product, ShipMagick. If you see the name of that app, it's not actually ShipMagick, it's actually Shipping Calculator ShipMagick. So shipping calculator was one of the very high traffic keywords, and I used that directly in my name of the app. So there are 5 or 6 different places in your app store listing where you can actually put in the keyword. You can put it in the name, you can put it in the subheader, you can put it in description, in features, etc., etc. And some of these places have higher priority. For example, the name of the app, that's like the highest priority. If your name of the app has the keyword in it, it will really shoot your app in the top 5 rankings for that particular keyword. And the third point is obviously just provide good customer support and keep getting reviews. Along with the number of reviews, the velocity at which you get reviews also matters. So just keep getting reviews for your app. And it's very simple in Shopify. If you provide good support to your merchant, they will leave you a good review.
So you've mentioned to us that you've now reached over $12,000 in monthly recurring revenue, again, in just about a year. What it was like when you started first making money? Like, how long did it take to get the first $1,000 a month? And then how did it grow since then?
So I started in April 2023. I think on 5th April 2023, I released Pepper, which was my first paid product. But initially, I did not add any paid plans for Shipper because I wanted to get more reviews. So I kept it free and got more reviews so that I was able to rank higher on the Shopify App Store. I followed this strategy for both Shipper and ShipMagick. Because I did not have any paid plans for Shipper, I did not get any money until I was in June, I think. I think April, May, June. And then in June is when I launched the first paid plan for Shipper. And I simultaneously began working on ShipMagick. My first dollar, I started earning it in June. Then I launched ShipMagick in July. Again, I kept it free for I think like September or October, which is where I launched paid plans for ShipMagick. And Shipper was a really small product. So the monthly revenue coming in from Shipper at that time was probably around $200 to $300 per month in October 2023. And then once I launched paid plans for ShipMagic, I think I was at $1,000 in December 2023. I remember ending the year on $1,000 in 2023. And I was like, wow, I had never really expected to hit $1,000 anytime because my previous experience with launching products was very bad. It was very difficult to even get users to use the app, let alone making money off it.
Mhm. Now, when you decide to introduce a paid plan, how do you decide how much to actually charge?
For me, I think I looked at the competitors. If we have some competitors on the Shopify App Store, I looked at the competitors and based my pricing off that. All the competitors, they are between a specific range. So I also reduced my plan in that range. I did offer my existing customers, like the free customers, a 50% discount.
So one other strategy that you mentioned to us was that you commented on top Google search results to drive the installation or the purchase of your Shopify apps. Tell us more about this strategy. Like what were you commenting on? Did you find that this is like a scalable, repeatable strategy?
Yes. So today, 90% of my traffic or 80% of my traffic comes from the Shopify App Store. And out of the rest 20%, I think 15% comes from this second strategy. The strategy is very simple. So I think from a merchant's perspective, what they will type on Google when they are facing a problem which my app aims to solve, which is, let's say, for ShipMagic context, it could be I want to charge per item shipping rates in Shopify. This could be a search term. So I search for that phrase or these keywords on Google. All the results that I see on the first page, I go inside each of those links, and if it's possible, usually it is because these these links usually lead you to some kind of forum. I go to the comment section of that forum and paste a link to my app saying that, hey, we have developed this app, it solves for this problem. I probably will include a link to a video of how to do that with our app, or just write the steps in the comment section and finally include a link to the app and just paste it. So it's a really good and consistent source of traffic as far as my experience goes.
Now that you're actually reaching almost your 2 years in business in building Shopify apps, if you go back in time and in your first, let's say, 6 months of doing this, what would you do differently? What would you do differently in the way that you built, the way you marketed, anything that you would have done differently compared to what you did do when you first launched?
I think one thing I would do would be, so I was very much focused on building fast. So and it comes with a trade-off. If you're building fast, you probably will not be very clean with your development, or like, you will not pay much attention to the UX in the app. You will just, for example, what happens with me is if someone asks for a feature, I give them very aggressive timelines. Like I'll develop this feature for you in 12 hours or 18 hours, and then I'll go ahead and code it in the app, not really think about the overall design of the app. That has leaded to the app becoming a little clunky and complicated. So this was probably good when I started, but after the app reached a certain scale, I should have stopped it and started focusing on, you know, introducing process, design processes, coding practices in the app, in
So
the stack.
speaking of saving time, Speedy Squirrel and the three apps that exist today, you mentioned to us are pretty much an autopilot. Tell us more about what
Yeah.
autopilot means. How did you get to the stage it's at now where it's pretty much on autopilot?
It's the nature of the app which allows me to have this semi-autopilot lifestyle. I used to have majorly two workloads with me, which was one was product development, feature development, and the second one was customer support. Product development initially, after reaching a scale, after working for it on so long, there's not much of a product development or feature development that I have to do now. Most of the features which are required by customers, they have already been built in. It's only minor feature additions or performance optimizations that I need to do like every once in a while. The second major chunk of my time used to go in customer support tickets because these are B2B customers. The support ticket volume, although the volume is low, the amount of work that you have to do is pretty high because they will just straight up demand you to set up the app for them. They don't want to use the product themselves. They'll pay you, but they will want you to set up the app. So that was what used to take me much of my time, but I've slowly tried to automate that. I've created templates in the app which you can directly use to basically get set up very quickly. because I was on support myself, I knew the 20% of the use cases for which 80% of the users were coming to use my app, the Pareto principle. So I just went ahead and created detailed videos for those 20% of the use cases. And now whenever someone comes for support, I just send them the link to that video and they can easily copy that video and get set up with the app. I haven't worked for more than 2 or 3 hours per day for the past 6 months on ShipMagic or on any of the three apps. And the app consistently keeps growing on 10 to 15% month on month.
That's amazing. Now that it's on semi-autopilot, you're only spending a few hours a day. What are you doing the rest of your time? Like, what's next for you? Like, what are you focusing on these days?
So recently I've started building another product. It's in same Shopify space, but this time the market is a little different. It's an enterprise SaaS, and we are only going to focus for this app. We are only going to focus on the top 1% of the Shopify merchants, which is merchants who are doing more than $1 million in ARR. So only those merchants, and I can't reveal much about it, but it's a Shopify app, and my major focus is on building that app for now.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on here, Adi. Thanks for coming on and sharing your journey, your advice, and experience with us.
You're welcome, Felix.